Hello everybody. This is Hop to the Hippity Hop bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary. And before I start, I just want to make a couple of announcements. First and foremost, Happy New Year's Eve everyone. Tonight is going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually going to a friend's house to just have good fellowship, have some fun, party it up a little bit, and usher in 2011 where a lot of crazy stuff is bound to happen, and I'm going to bring you a lot more casts. And that is what I want to talk about, my goals for this channel. Maybe this could be a New Year's resolution. For 2011, what I want my channel to be is my progress from a gold level player to a diamond level player. So my goal is to actually hit diamond maybe sometime this year. I'm going to be trying to play a lot more games. I've actually haven't played in about 2 months, so you can see that I was pretty inspired by watching a lot of replays and recently just making this channel. So that's my goal for this channel. I also want to bring you interesting games, so you aren't just watching boring gold level play. Not saying that all gold level play is boring, because there is a lot to learn from gold level play if you are a newer player. But I want to bring you some interesting games, such as this one, and this is actually a high diamond level play. So that's going to be another fun thing. One more thing, I just want to say that I also want to bring some Korean games, noting that I am a Korean. Yeah, I'm a Korean. But that doesn't mean that I'm a great Korean player, so I actually don't fit into that stereotype where all Koreans, all Asians are so good at video games, so good at StarCraft gods, So, yeah, I'm not a great StarCraft player, but I do want to learn to become a good StarCraft player. And what I can bring to the table is StarCraft translations. No, Korean translations for Korean games. So I'll actually be able to read some of the chatter that is going down. Granted, my reading isn't the best. I'm kind of slow at reading. But, I'll do my best to translate. I'm pretty fluent in Korean, so I think I'll be able to understand most of the stuff. Granted that there will be things I don't understand. So don't kill me for that. I'll just do my best to focus and be able to read that stuff. But let's just get right into this game. It looks like Dirge is going to be spawning down here as the blue Protoss, and Poi is going to be spawning up here as the pink Zerg. Looks like Dirge is going to be doing a little bit of scouting. And if I am not mistaken, it looks like Poi went for a 14 extractor, 14 pool. And look at this. It looks like Poi is going for evolution chamber. Now this is very strange play. Like, this is very unorthodox Zerg play, if I say so myself, because I don't actually do this too often. But I actually have seen StarCraft do this, where he would get +1 upgrades for his Zerglings and then go into mass infestors. So we might be seeing some of that kind of play. Not sure how good that works or how well that fares against Protoss players, but we'll see here. It looks like Poi is going to go out and do a little bit of scouting here to see what his opponent is doing. Nice Overlord placement. As I stated before, if you put your Overlord just right over this edge, or any edge over the expansion, you'll be able to see minerals being mined without your Overlord being in too much danger. Looks like a pylon was placed here, so delaying Poi's expansion just a couple minutes, just by a couple of minutes. And if Dirge is a great diamond player, he will be canceling this as soon as it comes in, and there he does cancel, so good play on his part. Expansion is now going down for Poi. Looks like Poi is going to be having map control. He does have speed for his Zerglings, and there goes the +1 upgrades. Excuse me. I think I'm actually falling a little bit sick, but besides the point, upgrades are going up. Looks like 2 more gateways. So actually, this was a pretty popular build. Oh, force field almost blocking in those Zerglings, but Poi not caring, sacrificing one of his Zerglings to see what's up there. Fortunately, I don't think he saw much. No, he did not. So he only saw that gateway and that cybernetics core. What a popular build that Protoss do is they do 3-gate cybernetics core into expansion, and there goes the expansion. So a 2-base Protoss is very dangerous against a 2-base Zerg, because Zerg actually need 1 more expansion than their opponents in order to fall out in top or be even with their opponents. So Poi will be falling behind, and in fact he's actually making a lot of Zerglings, and he doesn't have too many harvesters. I think Dirge actually has more, and let's take a look at the harvester count. Yes, definitely, Dirge does have a lot more harvesters than Poi does. And this expansion might actually, this expansion will bring in a lot more income for Dirge. So Poi's going to be in a lot of trouble if he can't do damage to Dirge's economy somehow. So we'll wait and see, and it looks like Poi is going in for a small attack. There's a little hole here, but the sentries are going to be blocking that off. Looks like the Zerglings are forced to go around. That is a lot of sentries, so great unit choice by Dirge, able to get a lot of sentries out to block off. And if Dirge isn't careful, he might lose he might lose this Nexus, but nope, he is not going to be focusing down that Nexus. Looks like Poi is opting to do a little bit of damage to that Nexus, trying to soften it up as much as he can. Because if he can take down this Nexus, Poi will be much farther ahead. Looks like those are some great sentries going on. More Zerglings streaming in. Dirge losing a couple of sentries. Looks like Poi is coming around the corner, but will he come up the ramp? No. Looks like Dirge is able to block it off with another great force field. Another great force field blocking his units in, getting a lot more Zealots to kill off those Zerglings. And looks like one Zergling is able to get out. But it looks like more Zerglings are streaming in. Let's take a look at the units lost tab. So the units lost tab pretty similar right now, only 50 mineral difference. So it looks like Poi did a little bit of damage, but he is still behind in Harvesters. So if Poi doesn't do something quick, he is falling behind. Every second this expansion is up, and now he's actually saturating these this expansion with his probes, with that transfer. So Dirge needs to do something, and it looks like a Baneling's nest is coming up, and this is what Poi needs to do. He needs to get Banelings to take out as many Harvesters as he can, do as much damage as he can. Looks like he is going to pick off a couple of probes. It's a good play there. Unfortunately losing still a couple of Zerglings due to that great force field. But this is a lot of Zerglings, and as soon as that Baneling's nest comes up, he's going to be making a ton of Banelings to be able to take down as many probes and units as he can. Now Observer is out for Dirge, so Dirge will be able to see what his Zerg predecessor is going to be doing. Getting a little drink of my water there. Looks like +1 upgrades is coming in for the Protoss player Dirge, building another gateway as well. And now Poi is morphing in a bunch of Banelings. Poi getting a little hit up with these cannons, but he's saying, you know, I don't care. I want to do as much damage as I can to this forge. And some great force fields. He has to be careful. Poi is coming in with his Banelings, and if he's not careful, Dirge can lose a lot of units. And oh my goodness, those are 4 Zealots that just got taken down. A lot of damage was done. Let's take a look at the units lost tab. Wow, Dirge just lost 3,000 units, so Poi is now slowly bringing himself back into this game. A lot of damage was done. Looks like nothing here is defending. All these probes went down. That was a lot of damage. Looks like this cannon is as well going down. I'm going to have to disagree with Dirge's choice of getting Immortals. But at this high level play, I think Poi will be opting to get Roaches sometime soon. So Roaches are not good friends with Immortals, because Immortals do a lot of damage to Roaches. Poi is just running around scouting as much as he can with these 4 Zerglings, morphing in Banelings inside his base, as well as streaming in units as well. Looks like, yep, Poi is going to be doing a little bit more damage. I think he might be able to take down this Nexus. No, he is going to go for those Zealots, it looks like. And this Immortal is going to be popping out, so this is a little bad. These Zerglings are going to surround it, and will they pick off this Immortal? Zealots are rapidly morphing and trying to take out the Zerglings, but unfortunately that Immortal is dead, and Immortals are not expensive. Or they are expensive. They're not cheap, is what I meant to say. 250 minerals and 100 gas, so that was a lot. And right now, Dirge is way behind, even in Harvester count. So Poi is bringing himself back into this game miraculously. So Dirge is in a lot of trouble here. This Forge is at low health, taking a little bit more damage. He does have a lot of sentries out as well. But it looks like a lot of trouble for the Protoss player. More Banelings coming in. Look at all those Banelings. Going to be doing a lot of damage if that force field does not go down, and that force field was put down, so great move on his part. Actually, let me just put this to busy in case someone decides to message me. Alright. Looks like a gateway is going to try to be put there to block it, but no! Banelings are going to be coming in. Great force fields blocking it off, and his sentries are going to be picking off those Banelings, and those Banelings are now forced to back out. So, wow, intense. And losing a couple of Zealots there. So wow, these Banelings have done a lot of damage, as well as his +1 Zerglings, picking off all these sentries, picking off a lot of these Zealots. Dirge is just in a lot of trouble, but he is pulling himself, continuing to macro and build probes while defending this relentless assault. Looks like Dirge is running out of energy to make those force fields, but he does put off a couple of force fields, which is good on his point. Some Zealots warping in to help out. But Poi is just not letting up with this relentless assault. Even getting a couple Zerglings, a handful of Zerglings into his base, he's going to be doing a little bit of damage, but Dirge wisely warps in some Zealots to be able to defend this off. And looks like more probes coming in for a dual-pronged attack at the front of the expansion as well as in the back. And Poi is just not letting up. He's just continuing to mass a lot of Zerglings. But I think Poi should have actually backed out after doing the damage. He should have macroed up, maybe grabbed the third expansion. Because right now it looks like Dirge is getting more and more probes, pulling farther and farther ahead. But yeah, I think Dirge should have just backed up. But this is actually dangerous. If he does snipe out this Nexus, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage. But what I'm trying to say is that Poi should have just backed up after doing all that damage and just macroed up. So I'm not too sure if I agree with what he's doing right now. Because right now he's just losing a lot of Zerglings. Especially because now it looks like Dirge is going to have a good critical amount of sentries. But unfortunately, Poi, being a great player, is going to bring in a couple Zerglings from the back. But Dirge was able to block that off. So good play on Dirge's part. Looks like a nice force field going down as well, being able to snipe down all these Zerglings. So these Zerglings are now forced to go away, but more Banelings are being morphed in. So this is a very micro-intensive game, lots of action. Looks like Dirge is going to go in and see that a ton of Banelings are being morphed. So Dirge wisely does place down a pylon here, which can easily be broken down by these Banelings. And it looks like Poi is finally going to be backing off. And, oh wow, Poi actually was able to macro up at that time and actually putting down a Roach Warren. So wow, a lot has happened. Dirge now opting to get a few Stalkers. It looks like he's actually going to be moving out soon to do a counterattack. But still, that is a large number of Banelings. But those Banelings do not have speed, so they're going to be moving very slow and they're easily going to be able to be picked off. But it looks like Dirge wasn't paying attention, losing a lot of sentries. Let's look at the units lost up. So Dirge still far behind by about 2,000 minerals. So Dirge is going to have to make something happen here if he is going to be able to pull himself back into this game. So this has been a very back and forth game. A lot has happened. But both players are doing a great job macroing back up. Look at the income tab here. Poi is now so far ahead in harvester count. So Poi doing a great job at that. Look at the production tab. +2. Attack is going up as for the Zerglings as well as Aspire. More Banelings are being morphed in, but it looks like a counterattack is going to happen from Dirge. Excuse me. It looks like Poi... Oh, this could be a very close battle. If he's not careful, he could lose all these Zerglings, and those Zerglings are going to be trapped in by those great force fields, so he is forced to use these Zerglings, sacrificing them. And this actually looks like Poi is in a lot of trouble. This is a very frightening Protoss army, ready to come in here to do a lot of damage. I'm not sure if Poi is going to be able to stop this nice micro, pulling back his sentries with Zealots in the front. So a lot of damage is going to be done to this expansion if Poi is not going to be able to stop this. Poi needs to get those Roaches out, but those Roaches are not out yet. He only has Zerglings training, so I don't know if Poi is going to be able to stop this. He's going to lose his second expansion and fall behind in harvester count. Looks like Stalkers are continuing to reinforce. And looks like there's nothing Poi can do. Looks like Dirge is going to win this game just by that nice counterattack. Wow. I'm not sure. Yeah, these Zerglings aren't going to do much. There's really nothing at this point that Poi can do, and he does GG. So this was a very back and forth game. It was looking very grim for Dirge, but he was continuing to macro, continuing to defend, using great force fields. But unfortunately, he was losing a couple units to not paying attention and macroing. But Poi, what I think he should have done is he should have actually backed off after doing all that damage with those Banelings in that first assault, and maybe grabbed a second expansion, maybe even grabbed his gold, macroed up a little bit, and then pushed out, and then not attacked at all. As StarCraft says, you should never attack as a Zerg player. Not saying you shouldn't just attack in general. You should harass. That's one thing you should definitely do. Harass, kill as many probes as you can, but you should never attack with a full frontal force. Because if you lose in that encounter, then you're going to be far behind, and they're going to be free to counterattack you at any moment. So yeah, he should have actually set back a little bit, maybe macroed up a bigger army and defended this this push, and then moved out and counterattacked. And then I think Poi could have actually won that game, but that was a very close game. Well played by Dirge, well placed force fields. And yeah, thank you guys. This was a high level diamond play, my first high level cast. So tell me how I did. I think I covered most of it, but if I said anything wrong, please let me know. And that is gonna be that. This is Hop signing out.